sitting in Mtipeni village in Mombasa, Kenya, on the dirt like I normally do, with a hot cup of chai in my hand, and Lena, my friend, is beside me, and mutton biryani is on the stew and an open fire that you can smell. And I'm looking at my 3 kids, and they are chasing butterflies and bubbles and chickens. And I can hear women worshiping in the corner, and I can hear laughter. And I think in this moment that this could have been a fleeting idea. It could have been a distant memory and just simply a dream if I would have not had the courage to release. So can I take you on a journey? Yes. I am 18. And I'm sitting on a cold marbled floor in a very large hotel in Mombasa, Kenya, and dirt is covering my Chaco sandals because you wear Chacos on mission trips. That's what you do. I'm there for 10 days, a very short time. I know that at any moment I'm going to walk outside of that door and a buffet is going to be in front of me and all the choices of food that I will have, and the people that I traveled with will be there too. But I feel alone. I feel distant. And I'm actually very mad at God because I'm feeling this feeling of disparity that I have never felt before, because a couple hours before I was in Mtipeni village with my new friends and they were sharing with me stories and I was laughing with them. And I was trying this hot cup of chai for the first time that was so delicious. But now I'm here on that cold marble floor, not a warm dirt soil, and I feel alone. And I told God in that moment, God, I will never come back to Kenya. Not because I didn't love the culture and I didn't love the vitality of what it brought to me and I didn't love the new friends that I met, but because I never wanted to experience this feeling again of something that was short and unknown, and I did not understand why my feet were planted right there or what my purpose was. So I made that vow, and whether it arrived to him with floating words or in a contract, he ripped it up very quickly and discarded of it. And he continuously pursued me year after year, and he fought for me to understand my purpose. So much that year after year, I went back to Kenya, to Mtipeni, and I grew in relationships. I grew in friendships. I radically listened to the women and what they needed and what they desired. And we decided that we were gonna build something beautiful together. So I am 22. And I am stepping off of that plane after 30 hours of traveling, and that sun shines down on my face, that familiar sun, and that humid air in Mombasa wraps me with all of its stickiness, and I feel held. I feel certain, I feel sure that my feet are exactly where they need to be, and from the tips of my toes to the top of my head, I feel a peace that is radiant in my body and is encompassing my soul. And even with all the unknowns ahead of me, I feel completely aligned. Because at that moment too, a whisper hit my ear and I heard it loud and clear, this still small voice. It said, "Daughter, welcome home. You are home." A couple weeks later, I'm in Mtipeni, my new home, immersed in the beautiful community that I love. And I am waiting. I wait and I anticipate because I know in any moment the women are going to be coming through that door. And there are 16 Singer sewing machines in front of me that I sold everything for to buy, including that precious Avalanche truck, which as a Texas girl, we will not talk about today. But I sold that truck and I sold everything I own, and I left a box at my mom's house and I put an Osprey backpack on my back and I made it to this moment. And so I'm excited. I'm excited because year after year, we talked about this moment of what we were going to create together, what we were going to build together, and we knew it was going to be beautiful. So I wait, and an hour and a half later, in good Kenyan fashion, they run into the door, and they settle behind their machines. And like any good American girl, I still had a to-do list and task at hand, and we were gonna get something done even with our limited time. So I grabbed that piece of chalk and I draw an 8x8 square on the chalkboard because we were gonna learn a pattern today. It's our first day of this sewing class, a skill that these women wanted to learn, and so we were going to learn. But as I look back to them, blank stares meet me. I'm confused because I know my Swahili is a little rough, but even in my broken Swahili, I knew they understood. So I draw an 8x8 pattern again, a simple square, and I look back at them and blank stares. And in the back, Lena, quietly but courageously with hope in her eyes, she stands up and says, Madam Jen, najua una tunafundisha, lakini nyumba zangu sijui. Now it hit me because I know these women innately. I know their stories, and they know mine, and this detail that we had forgotten. I felt naive in this moment, but what she told me is that I know you are here to teach us, but lakini, I don't know my numbers. Something we should have caught in our programming and what we were creating together. You can't read a measuring tape if you don't know your numbers, so we pivoted, we changed. But I should have known that because 12 out of 16 of those women sitting in front of me had never stepped foot inside of a classroom. 12 out of 16 of those women had never had the privilege to have an education. And all of those women in their mid-30s felt that they were unworthy of this opportunity. So we pushed those machines aside, and what was beautiful is we learned together. We educated one another. As I teach them 1, 2, 3, they teach me how to wash my clothes with my hands. As I teach ABC, they teach me how to make that chai that I love over an open fire. As I finally teach that 8x8 pattern and square, they teach me about the joy of cassava and a stew and the goodness of it. But together, we teach each other and educate one another of life and all of its simplicity. I am 26, and I'm walking down that familiar dirt road in Mtapeni Village with dirt over my sandals, not Chacos, good sandals. And I have my son. He is wrapped to my back, my firstborn son, and he's sleeping snug. And on one side are kids playing with new toys that they've created from tires, and it's harvest season, so the men are pulling coconuts from the palm trees, and that sun, man, that hot sun is on my face, and I am sweating that day. But I'm holding the hand to Lena, my friend, and I listen. And she shares with me her joys and her worries, but she shares with me her dreams. Dreams that were non-existent a couple years ago because she could not even fathom that question of what is a dream. But she shares with me today her dreams. Dreams of her daughter Gladys going to college. Dreams of buying that piece of land. Dreams of potentially starting another business. Dreams that now exist because we decided to create an authentic community together. A community that was built on respect and integrity and service of one another and was full of equity. We immersed ourselves with one another. We lived together and we built this community together. So I am sitting in the dirt with that cup of chai in my hand, and my kids are still chasing chickens. I'm still waiting for that mutton biryani to be done. But I sit there and I see hundreds of friends. I hear that laughter. I see those smiles, and radiant joy is just filling the space. This was not a project or a one-time program that was created. This was a community and a family that has been built. This wasn't about a Band-Aid solution. This was about transformative change. And what I see in front of me is love, deep love that is filled with compassion. Compassion that is shining from the inside out. So today I'm here, founder and CEO. I'm Jenny, by the way, founder and CEO of Imani Collective, a global social enterprise that is creating consistent, dignified work for hundreds of women. A social enterprise that cares, again, not just about that one-time, short-term solution, but wants to see transformative change. A social enterprise that cares about people, profit, planet, and partnerships. But also an enterprise that cares about not just this generation, but the next generation and the next, because we truly believe we can break the generational cycle of poverty. We want to see people not merely survive in this life, we want to see them thrive. So how did this come about? How was this created? It was created, me, those 16 women, I call them the pioneers of Imani Collective. At Imani Collective, we say we're not just better together, we are our best. And the only way that we were able to be our best and still be our best today is because we decided to get real with one another. We decided to release control and step into the unknown together. We decided to educate and be willing to learn from one another. We built an authentic community that was filled and still is filled today with respect, integrity, service to one another, and full of equitable partnerships. And more importantly, we decided to love, to deeply love that was grounded in faith, that was grounded in truth, and that was grounded in genuine kindness. You know what's crazy? Thank you. You don't have to sell that avalanche truck and everything you own and move across the world to make an immense impact and find your purpose. You can start right where your feet are. You can look at your daughter and your son in the morning and tell them how awesome they are. You can walk out to the street and see that neighbor and lend them a helping hand. The world needs more real people. The world needs the real you. So step out in your community, start to be real, and create the impact that you were always made to create, right where your feet are.